Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day. So I was able to plant my in-ground garden today, which I was really excited about. I just planted some seeds, so cowpeas, beans, and then about 9 rows of sweet corn. So we're going to be getting some low temps over the next couple of nights, but I'm not worried about that because my seeds will not germinate that quickly. So I went ahead and got that out since today was relatively a nice day and the rain held off for me. So I was really happy to get all of that done. I'm planning on planting out my tomatoes the middle of next week because that's when our nighttime temperatures will come up around 50 degrees. And then I'll probably get my peppers out a little while after that. I really don't like to plant them out until it's about 55 degrees minimum at night because sometimes they can be stunted if they're exposed to too cold of temperatures. So I really want to take my time with those. But I had some tomatoes here that were getting a little bit big. They were started after these guys, so I had kind of left them just in their soil blocks, but I wanted to get them into bigger pots, even though I'm going to be planting them in the garden in about a week or so. But while I was down in the garden, I started thinking about civilizations and countries and populations. And the goal over time for civilization seems to be advancement. If you look back in history, I mean, you can see that in the Roman Empire, you can see that all throughout history. But I'm wondering if that has actually been a good thing. And as I've been thinking more about it, I actually don't necessarily think that becoming more advanced as a society has always been a good thing. Now, I think that there are definitely some improvements that we've made over the years that are really good. However, what I really started thinking about was all of the knowledge that we have lost over past generations. So I think that you can see if you look back, like let's say you look back at your great-great-grandparents or your great-grandparents, and you can see that those people typically had a very strong work ethic. And that's because the majority of them were poor. They were immigrants, they were coming to a new country, they didn't have a job, they didn't have money, and they struggled. They worked as hard as they could, and they became something. And their children saw their parents work. The children were made to participate in that. And so as they grew and became adults, they also took on those characteristics. They worked hard, became successful, and then they have children. Now, over time, as that process continues, I think that as adults and as parents, we tend to say to ourselves, you know, we want our kids to have a better life. We want our children to not have to do as much hard work as we did. We don't want them to struggle. We don't want them to know what it's like to have a hungry stomach. We don't want them to have to go out and slaughter an animal or work for hours in the garden to put food on the table. And I get that, and I think in our heads we can think that that's a noble goal, right? Let's make it easier for the next generation. But I think that what we're seeing in today's generation is the result of that thinking. Was this current adult generation made to work hard? Were they taught the lessons of, the value of a dollar? Were they taught how to go out and work to provide food for their family? And I think the answer to that most of the time is no, they weren't. We've been under this false impression that our children should be able to just, learn at school and then have fun with their friends, play travel ball, have the latest phone because everybody else has one. Oh, how about an Apple Watch? How about the best Nike sneakers? Don't buy the ones on the clearance rack because those are the last season sneakers and everyone's going to know. And so by doing this, I actually think that we're doing our children a disservice. I feel like we're actually going backward. So let's think about the things that our grandparents and great-grandparents knew. Like, let's talk about food preservation, for instance. Canning, pressure canning, fermenting, dehydrating, Who needs to know that stuff in this generation when you can just go to the store and get it in the grocery store, right? Why would we need to take the time to process food at home and to do all of this work to put food on the shelf when we can just go buy it? When I grew up, I just went to the grocery store. I didn't know how to can. I didn't know how to water bath can or pressure can. And frankly, I really didn't care about any of it. To me, that was just an extra step. I'm just going to go buy my raspberry jam at the store. But to know how to do those things to provide food for your family is a very valuable skill. There's knowledge in all areas that we have lost over the generations. Animal husbandry. Who even knew that goats had to have their hooves trimmed? I didn't know that until I had goats myself. Or how many of us knew how to butcher an animal until we took on this lifestyle? I bet not many of us. Or what about medicinal herbs? We've lost a ton of knowledge about how to treat our own sicknesses and illnesses at home. Our great-grandparents did it, and they knew how to use these things. And there's also home ec, right? Like just cooking on cast iron, making things from scratch. Or what about basic carpentry skills, right? Like, why would I need to use an exterior screw outside? What's the difference between an interior and exterior one? What wood is going to be the best for this project? All of that information is so valuable to know, but because we've lost it over the generations, we are struggling to get it back and taking so much valuable time to learn it now as adults. So I think what I'm trying to say, guys, is teach your kids. Don't think that you're doing them a favor by letting them, sit inside while you're outside toiling in the hot sun. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. So we have 2 big garden areas, plus I have a medicinal garden area over here. We also have about 65 chickens. We have 2 pigs, and we have 2 goats, along with a house that needs to be maintained and kept clean and running smoothly. So how do I get it all done? I get it done because my children take care of the animals. My oldest son takes care of the pigs. My oldest daughter, along with my son, take care of the goats. They work to get them up on the milk stand every day to train them to that. They check their feed, they give them grain, they check their minerals. They're also checking them to check for udder development and just general well-being and how they're looking and making sure that they're acting normal. My daughter also takes care of the chickens in the coops outside. While my older 2 are doing most of the things outside with the animals, my youngest daughter will help with the things inside. So she will do the dishwasher in the morning. She's responsible for cleaning the kitchen. Also, if there's any laundry that needs to be folded or put away, she does that as well. And my little guy, he has lived a life of luxury. He's the 4th kid. I feel like the discipline and the structure is really good with the first 1 or 2, and then you get a little bit, relaxed and kind of let the older kids take the burden. So he takes care of the compost, and then I do have him kind of help me with some cleaning chores inside. But for the most part, the 3 oldest ones are really taking care of the animals and some of those household tasks while I am down in the garden working there or working to preserve food in the kitchen, keeping the house running smoothly, making meals, and all of that stuff. Now, without their help, I could not do it all myself. It's just too much. But I will tell you that they are learning valuable skills. They will not have to relearn this as an adult. They will know the skills that are necessary for them to be able to provide food for their family. When all the other luxuries in the world are gone, or perhaps they're taken away, we need to know that our kids have the skills to be able to survive. If we rely on the skills that most of society today values, like making Instagram reels, or knowing how to do the perfect makeup, or putting together an outfit that's just perfect for fall with your Starbucks, pumpkin spice latte, that is not going to get us far. What's really going to count is that your kids are going to know how to provide food for their family, how to take care of animals. They're going to have compassion. They're going to know what it is to work hard, and they're going to know the value of $1 and what it takes to actually earn a living to provide for themselves. So guys, I encourage you to get your kids involved. Don't think that you're doing them a favor by letting them kind of have the easy road. I know that we all want to indulge our kids and give them those things, and that's okay once in a while, but don't shortchange them on the information that you had to learn. So guys, I really hope that you will give some thought to what I spoke about. I know that by teaching your kids and grandkids how to preserve food, how to grow a garden, raise animals, how to work hard, what it takes to earn $1, I know that that's going to be a great benefit to them and even to your grandchildren. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.